Welcome, guys. Really happy to be back. I thought Shayna and Helena represented us really well at the Pac-12 Media Day, and they had a lot of fun. And I think just did a really good job and represented Arizona in the best way.
What is the energy been like this week heading into your first game, your exhibition versus West Texas A&M?
The energy's been really good, and unfortunately, just because we also talked about this as coaches, like we had to miss yesterday, and our players had to miss, and that counts as one of your 30 days. When you only have 30, you're like every day counts. So we talked about that, but that's an NCAA thing. I think the energy is really good. I think there's just a lot of learning. So a lot of people learning different things, a different system. For freshmen, so the freshmen, the learning curve is really steep. But then returners, it's just learning a new system, new plays, new strategies, and it just takes time. But I think feeling good, looking good. Tomorrow's not going to be the most beautiful exhibition, but that's what they're for. They're for you to see all of our work we need to do and work in progress.
How would you assess Paris Clark's her overall performance, like so far throughout camp, and how has Shayna Pellington been as a leader, as a guard for her?
Yeah, so first, Shayna Pellington, she's been doing a really good job. She's really improved her shooting, her pull-up jumpers, just a lot more consistent. They talked about that a lot on during the press conference. I made a joke on live television. She said to me the other day, Coach, my shot is wet. And I was like laughing. Or no, my shot's water. My shot's water. So now Carolyn, everybody's gonna be saying water. So it was pretty funny. But it was cute. She said that. She wouldn't have done that before. She has a lot more confidence. She's put in the work. So that's where the confidence comes from. And then she's leading us well. She's talking more. Because Shayna's not the most vocal point guard, but she's improving. And just leading in a better way. But my expectations for her are really high. So she's got to even do more and better, which she can. And then Paris is a freshman, but Paris is playing a lot harder lately. She's more focused. She wants to play. She wants to learn, but she's just learning a lot. It's a lot of information, and it's just new, and it's faster against better players. And then when you throw on the guys, it's against really athletic guys. And so it just takes time, but she has a chance to be a really good player.
You guys got together yesterday, and you've had your coaches meeting together already, right?
Yeah.
Where you finally got back together in face-to-face. What's that been like, getting back together with people in the conference?
Well, so we were in the spring, we were together, for the Pac-12 head coaches meeting, but it's different being there with like Pac-12 people. There was some new Pac-12 staff members, so that was really good, just focused on women's basketball. So the staff is bigger. That was really impressive, and it's good people. And then just, the president, Greg, it's, his last name's hard to say, but I don't want to butcher it, but he does a great job just coming in and talking to us, giving us like just updates on what's going on, because you don't know what's going on. You always see media and people just throw out all kinds of stuff on Twitter, but just hearing how we're doing, what the plans are is promising. So we're excited about the Pac-12. And it was funny because is it the Pac-10 or Pac-12? I like the Pac-10 because I played in it, but the Pac-12. So it's promising. We have another deal coming up, and really exciting times where I think it's going to be really good for the Pac-12.
And going along with that, it did sound yesterday when he talked that there's more of an emphasis for women's basketball.
There is.
And it seemed like a different conversation that we're having now than we've had in the past. What's it like for you to hear that there's new investment in your sport?
I mean, it's important, but I feel like there should have always been the same investment, especially like after we saw the Final Four and everything, and we saw all the inequalities. I think that just because people are kind of putting their money where their mouth is, right? So I think before it was just like, just talk about it. We never did it, because I think when you hear a lot of people from the NCAA 10 years ago, they were saying the same things, but just no one was listening and no one was making changes. So I think the positive thing is we're noticing, we're understanding the value, and changes are being made. So that's always better. And just we need more resources, like for a lot of different things. You've always seen it on the men's side, so now it's time to start seeing it on the women's side. But I think you're going to see that too with the new deals and all that stuff. Women's basketball is a huge factor in that. So I think you're going to see money poured into it. And I think one of the big things that I heard and understood was like, we want more coverage nationally. We don't want to be limited. We don't want like 8 o'clock game here is 11 o'clock on the East Coast. So I think finding ways where in prime time slots nationally, not just in our region, and just more visibility nationally. And I think that, they were just handcuffed in doing that just because of the deal, and now there's an opportunity. So that's in progress right now, and I think it's going to be very beneficial for the conference, which is a ripple effect on everybody.
If you move things out of prime time on the West Coast, so how does that affect attendance?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know. That's above my pay grade, but like for sure, that's hard, and I don't know. But I think I think that's hard because even like 6 o'clock here, 9 there, but 6 o'clock, 9 is different than 11. I think, everybody's up at 9 o'clock pretty much, but I think 11's different. But I think what I understood is that then it's not going to always be on a Friday, Sunday, which I think at this point as a coach, okay, if you like the consistency, but I like national coverage because all the voters, and I would prefer to play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and who cares, and have more exposure and bigger games. I think every coach feels that way.
Did they talk about if they did that, going away from like the travel partner idea?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about that. I think it's just right now it's all open to get the best situation we can, and that's very promising, and there's a lot of interest. So I think as coaches, if it's better for the conference and we're going to have, more TV time, this and that, and just a better package, I don't think we'd care. But yeah, I think then those are the things. But we're pretty much the only conference that does that. And right now we're in like a 5th position. So I think that like monetarily, so I think going, towards the top of that's a big difference. So the good thing is there's a lot of really positive things coming out of what's going on now. And I think that's good in the state we're in. And like I kept on hearing at Media Day yesterday, that's the best ran one. And so that's, I think, what we do in the Pac-12 is first class, and it's smooth. Like we have an ambassador, like I have an ambassador, takes you around, keeps you on time, and the players do. It's really seamless. They do a really good job. So in one sense, we're going to miss those offices because it's pretty cool. It's a fun thing. It was my 7th year. I can't believe that. But I think I missed 2 years, right? But then, so 5th year. But then you don't have that, so how's that going to be? Is it going to be somewhere else? Because I think it's a good time. It's where you all coaches sit, like kind of a more, I think, a loose environment. And you see people's personalities, you see all the other players. So it's pretty cool.
You talked a little bit yesterday about Kate, and such a little bit range of motion is more limited. Will we see less of her until things get, or?
No, because it's not affecting basketball. Like you can still like that. I think it's just like a position like that, which we have. Like I probably don't have as much, but you don't need that for basketball. So it's not limited for basketball. I think just the continuous work on it for like life basically, and I think other stuff. But I mean, we really aren't in that position a lot, and I think some of it's the confidence of being in that position. But basketball, like she hasn't missed a beat. She actually looks better now than I've ever seen her. As far as like strength, she looks great. Like she's super fit. I mean, her body looks phenomenal, but she's got a little bit more muscle on her, and I think that's really visible. Stronger, she's in shape, like she's playing really well, and I think she's leading us well. So I'm really impressed. I did not think she'd be where she is today right now. So there's not going to be limitations.
When you talked about Kate yesterday, you also talked about Lauren and about her coming back from her injury. What kind of a jump have you seen from her and her ability?
I mean, Lauren has worked really hard, super fit, in great condition. I think very confident, feeling good. I think that's kind of a carryover from USA basketball. I think just the challenge for her is like there's been little setbacks, and there's small injuries, but I think that's hard. When you've worked really hard, you're in great shape, you're ready, and then like you have a setback for 2 weeks. I think or it's like if she has a little bit of swelling, or like she banged knees the other day and her knee blew up. But I'm not going to sit, like if we were playing, she'd play. But right now, like in October, I'm not gonna I'll have her sit for a week. So I think that was frustrating. She was out for a week and a half because it's like you don't want to be out. And I think for her, there's so many new people she wants to be in. She doesn't want to miss practice. But I was more concerned with like we don't need to push in October. We need you in very soon in a month. So I mean she'll be back in a couple of days. But I think it's just hard mentally. Because you're like, or just like Lauren, was out for a few days. She was sick. COVID was kind of going around. And then she is cutting a piece of fruit and cuts her thumb. So, you think it's just like a little cut, but cuts down to a nerve. And we didn't know she cut a nerve, so it's like it had to get stitched. So, it's obviously it's hard. You need your thumb. And so she gets stitched up, but her thumb was really numb. So we just decided to go in and have her have surgery just to make sure. Like, you don't know if it's numb and it's coming back. But going in, she had actually cut a nerve. So if we wouldn't have had her just get surgery and have them go in and see, she could have lost some function in her thumb. So it was like, thank goodness that happened. But, those are just annoying things where you can dribble with this hand, but you're out 2 weeks because of a thumb. And she knew, she was like, but she's great. I mean, both Lauren Ware, really ready. Lauren Fields has been phenomenal addition. I mean, so the two Laurens have been incredible.
What do you see her role, Lauren Fields? What do you see her role?
I see her playing a really big role for us. She is a blue collar, like she's my kind of kid. She's blue collar, like tenacious, like she is everywhere. She fights, she's strong, like a strong body. She finishes well. She's a lot better even in games than she is in practice, and she's kind of raised her level in practice too. I expect her to give significant minutes. I expect her to help lead this team. She is not super vocal, but you respect her because of her work ethic. So when she talks, it is really meaningful. So I want her to talk more, and I'm encouraging that, and she's doing that more. I think just coming to a new team, everybody's new. They don't know you haven't played a game yet. But I see her evolving in that, getting more comfortable, and we need that from her. She's a great kid, great person, tremendous values. So she is everything I want on and off the court. And so she's going to play a big role. And she'll be here for 2 years. So, like, my expectations for her, I want to keep on getting her better, work on some of her weaknesses, and continue to shine and help her get better in her bright spots. And then she can be a really, really good player here.
How much did Ashley knowing her, how much did that affect you really wanting her?
Well, I think with just the transfer portal and the limited time recruiting, it's really important when there's prior relationships. So I think that helped in the sense that I have to recruit them fast. It's like, we're talking like a few weeks. Sometimes it's a month, but it's not usually a month. Because when they're good, everybody's going after them like the same time. So it's kind of a battle. Texas is going after a lot of other schools, so it goes really fast. And I think that just Ashley knowing her for a few years, having the relationship, it makes me feel more comfortable in bringing in someone new to your team. And I met her family. I flew down there with Ashley, great family. And it was coincidental because our former director of ops lived their families were like a mile from each other. So it was just random. So stopped by her family's house. It was just really cool. But all the connections. So the relationships help, especially because in the past, you don't want to bring people to your program that don't fit the values and the work ethic. And so that's always a concern. And there was some situations last year where, if you sit face to face, people before, I think it's better. And so this year I was really concerned about that. But now the way with the portal is, I think those are going to be something coaches have to deal with, because I think the portal is going to be a place where you're going to fill your roster a lot. Especially when you're like a top 10 team, you're going to lose players. So that's kind of a good and bad thing. I think you can get good real fast, but you can also, get interesting real fast.
And the one player we haven't talked about a lot is Maddie.
Yeah.
And I know in the off season she worked on everything. Mm-hmm. What are you seeing from her and the improvements in her game?
I think I really see physically. She's a lot stronger. She's working hard defensively, so I think she's improved on her quickness some. Her shooting is what she does. I think just figuring out ways to expand her game where you can't just be a shooter, because they're going to guard you as a shooter. So you have to be able to make layups. You have to be able to make pull-ups. So I think working on those things a lot. But yeah, I think she's in a good place. I think she's playing well. For returners, you just always expect leadership. You always expect people to bring freshmen along and stuff like that. So for all the returners, I really want that, and that's important. So she continues to do that and fight. But I want, she works really hard. You want it in both areas. So I want her to do that on the court and off the court. So, holding her to that standard and just continuing to work with her and help her grow. Because she has potential to be really good. She just has to, we all know she can shoot. But shooting and being consistent, and then also other things, I think, will really help her have a chance to play.
How do you think it helps? I know that in the off season she played some games with Jade up in Phoenix, and scrimmages and stuff. How do you think that type of thing helps her to get comfort level with a player who's coming in and all of that.
I think it helps relationship because girls, like it helps, I think, just getting to know someone before. I think it just helps with you see how good they are, so then you want to play with them. And having them both on the floor really stretches the defense, and it helps Shayna get lanes. So I think, Jade's been another one. They both work. And I think even Jade's level is a step above. I think just watching Jade's work ethic and watching the work she puts in daily, but she's also a fifth year. She's more experienced than Lauren Warefield. She's more experienced than everybody, basically the same as Kate, years-wise. So I think that having Jade do that and setting the bar, it's really evident. And I think she's going to help us. But I love the fact, like, I go in there, Jade's going to be in there. Jade's strong as an ox. She's fit. She works on her craft every single day. And so what I love is that Paris, Lamaya, Maya, Kaylin, they see that. So that, like, helps the program. So I've really seen that. And it's funny because, you challenge players to bring someone else along. I've really seen her kind of go with Lauren Fields lately. So I like that. And those are players that are playing some of the best and some of the most confident, but they're putting in the work, and that leads to the confidence. So I like what Jade's bringing. Jade's like a kid that I really like to coach. She's coachable. She wants to practice. She wants to get better. So those are my type of kids.
And also she's roomies with two freshmen.
Yeah.
So that's.
Well, we kind of, like, they were in the same building. So now she's roommates with one freshman, as Mary. So, they get along. Her and Esmeri are friends. They're older, so it's like when you're like 22, you're with an 18-year-old, it's like you're doing different things. Like, I'm going out to eat more, not in there playing video games and stuff. So I think that's been a good balance. But I just love the fact that they're able to influence Kaylin. They're able to the freshmen are able to watch them because that's the standard. And Jade is trying to go play pro. So Jade is like, wants to play pro, that's what she wants, and she works like that, and I respect that because I'd say, like, she works like that. The person right behind her is a freshman, and that's Kaylin. And I'd say Kaylin works like that. She just has a lot more to learn and less experience, but Kaylin is like, watches film more than anybody on the team, studies the game more, wants to be better, and she's going to be good because of that, and I'm going to pour into her because of that, because I see that. And then, like Maya, I think, is on that level of work ethic. Maya Naji, she's just been in and out with injuries, so she's getting better. But yeah, that's what you want for the future. So when I see that, I'm going to pour in them, invest in them, and bring them along because those are players that are going to be good. If they have a deficit now and they have a weakness now, like, we're going to get them better at that because they have the work ethic, so they're going to get there. Like, that's how Kelsey Plum was.
In the past, when new people have come in, it seems like defense has kept them off the floor more than offense. So where are you seeing the newcomers as far as integrating with your defense?
Yeah, and that's a good point. That's a good observation because that's very true. Because right now we're not having a tough time scoring. Like, we have to get better defensively, and it's because our rotation. Like, I think some of the stuff we do is pretty high level, so it's not going to show till December because it's the emphasis right now. I wrote down some things. I watched practice yesterday. There is some emphasis now that you're going to see yesterday that we have to improve on to be good. But we are better offensively. Before, we didn't have the personnel to be, like, it wasn't our personnel. Like, Bendu's strong, like, great defender. Jade now bringing her along to our defense, which she can because she's a worker and wants to. But then she also has, really good offensive ability. So I think that if you look at the freshmen, Paris getting stronger, getting used to the pace and the physicality, and she's getting better at it. She's getting strong. She gained like 10 pounds of muscle. So, and she's still lean, but that's a lot in the freshman year, so good. And then Kaylin is strong as an ox. Kaylin just learning the pace. Like, in high school, you don't have to run back on defense. Well, in college, you do. So Kaylin kind of doesn't run back all the time. So a big emphasis for her, like, in college, you don't run back. It's a 3 or a layup. So just learning that, like, not running up to the ball when they're running at you and they go by you. I think learning that, you got to stay and, like, guard two people and talk and be vocal. That is a freshman learning curve, so she has to get better at that. Kaylin, boxing out. Freshmen don't box out. Like, she's always stronger and more athletic, so she goes in and jumps, and she gets some rebounds. But, like, in our league, you're going to have people like Ari, like, crashing the boards like she does, and they're bigger. So she's got to get the habits, I'd say, transition defense, boxing out, and just being more vocal offensively. And I'd say Lamaya defensively, Lamaya is more there defensively because that's kind of what she's done. She's super long, athletic, just learning our system and rotation she is, but she's fast and can do that. Like a great athlete. I think for her, it's just learning the offense more and taking care of the ball a little bit better. And that's, in high school, you're throwing these one-hand passes. And in our league, in college, they're turnovers. So doing that, but I think defensively she'll be fine. Maya, it's the pace. Like a high school post is not great usually. So they're not shooting the three, driving, popping. You got to close out. So I think just getting to the pace and the quickness, which she'll learn and get better at. But it's a different, like we hedge a lot, we trap a lot. So she's got to be able to do that and sprint back. And those are quickness things. So she'll get there. I think, but she works, so they'll do it. They'll go in and, like most players, if they don't have that mentality, they're not going to go in and work on extra defense because that is hard. It's easy to go out and shoot. Everybody wants to go shoot baskets, like shoot. But when you got to go out and like work on something, but Kaylin, Maya, those kids will. And then Paris, I think we said Paris is getting stronger. Getting a little bit like learning to jump stuff. Like we can't jump in the air and make passes in college. In high school, you do that. So you just see high school habits. And you're like, oh, we can't jump every time. Like, so it's a turnover. So I love Kaylin goes against Shane every day. She goes against Jade. It's hard. Lamaya's going against Paris. Kate and Esmeri are going against each other. Paris is going against Jade, Shayna, Helena. Like, so they're going against high-level players every day. So this should pay off. So, yeah. Okay. Easy peasy. Thank you, guys. Yeah, sure.
Are we going to see anything different out there, like anything else new for the season besides, I'm not talking about system-wise, because we'll see that when we see it, but anything for the fans that they should expect? Like, I know you moved us and they don't care about that, but.
I'm going to see that stuff. I don't even know.
Yeah, okay.
I think you'll see more courtside seating because we sold out so fast. I mean, we're kicking butt with our season tickets. The other thing you'll see is, like, we're going to have bobbleheads. So there's some really cool giveaways. You'll see a ton of fat heads, all that stuff we see. I'm trying to think of some other big things that we'll see. A lot of new faces, like as far as staff. Like we have, new video, new creative content, new director of operations. And like we've added some other positions. This new special head coach or special assistant to the head coach, she's been phenomenal. She's been a tremendous addition, like great. Kayla, great addition. So I think there's just a lot of newness. Like you guys are like, who is that? Who is that? Who's that? Like I think we have like 5 new people, and I think 2 of them are new positions. So just you'll see 3 new GAs. One was a practice player, Brady. Now he's a GA. 2 are great, and our GAs are great. Like they're really, really good. They've been great additions. So there's someone like we're teaching. Hope they can keep them around. I like them a lot. They're working hard, learning a lot. Like Emily wants to coach. She's a former basketball player. Nika wants to be a director of ops one day, and they both are doing really good in their areas. As far as other new people, same coaches. For like basketball, you'll see some like we'll kind of run some new offense stuff. We have more shooters, so we'll have some different ways to get them open. Defensively, you'll see the same, but it's not going to look beautiful tomorrow because of the rotations. But it definitely is getting better. I think you'll see a lot of different combinations tomorrow, just because I got to try different people. A couple people might be out just because exhibition, they don't really have to play. But I think you'll be excited about our newbies. Like you'll be excited about Lauren Fields. You'll really be excited about Esmeri. I think you'll be excited about all of our freshmen. And Jade, obviously, you guys know, you're more familiar with Jade because we saw her, but you guys don't know, Lauren and Esmeri well. So I think you guys are like, whoa, they're really good. They're really good additions. I think take us to the next level. So I think overall, if we're healthy, which we should be by season, you'll see like we're better at every position. I think better shooting, better now can we put it together defensively? All those things to be determined, but better I think better strengths and players at the positions. I think which will complement Shayna, but then you're going to see youth from the point guard position. So it's going to be, it's hard at first. It's growing pains. So freshmen, freshmen are learning. They're learning, trying to figure out their own stuff, yet alone run a team and know 5 positions. So I think you'll see just like a slower pace with that, but that's normal. But Helena's going to help us. Helena's going to play the 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sometimes you're going to see small lineups because sometimes we're going to play small. So I think those are kind of different things you'll see. But I think it's exciting. I'm excited. I don't know if I was ready for the exhibition tomorrow. It could have been better in a couple weeks, but we're good. We got to get to work today. So practice, we got to practice. So, all right, you guys, thank you.